welcome to the Knit Now Swatch Later podcast channel. This is a crafting channel where I share all of my knitting, crocheting, and whatever other crafty projects I have been working on in the past couple of weeks. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Pennsylvania, where I live with my husband and our 2 dogs and 2 cats. So it's been a couple weeks since the last episode of the podcast because I got really sick towards the end of last week and I just did not have the energy to sit down and record. But that does mean that I got a lot of knitting time, so I have quite a few things to show you guys. But before I jump into that, you can find me on Instagram as Knit Now Swatch Later and on Ravelry as Pup. And you can find links to everything that I talk about in this episode in the show notes down below this video. So I'm going to jump right in with a finished object. These are my vanilla stripy socks that I actually don't think I ever made a Ravelry page for these, but that's okay. They are done now. So here is the one that I just finished, and this is, I ran out of my just plain white yarn that I was using here, so I just grabbed some random scraps from my stash and used those up. I used up all of this gray and then some of whatever this color is as well. So these are finally finished and I am excited to be able to start wearing them. I finished those up on our Florida trip, which I talked about a little bit in the last episode, I think. And I finished those up probably either right before we left or like right when we got there. I was not working on them for very long. So yeah, and that leads me into my next half object, which is my coffee shop sock crew club, I think, socks. This yarn is by Mandi's Makings, and this is the coffee shop sock crew club colorway for January. Oh shoot, I don't have the tag for it, but it is just this really pretty like coffee brown for the heels, toes, and cuffs, and this like peachy, creamy, pinky color that I just love for the foot. I really enjoyed knitting this. It's just a vanilla sock. I didn't follow a pattern or anything. I guess if anything, I very loosely followed Kay's vanilla sock pattern from the Crazy Sock Lady, but I haven't looked at a pattern in a long time to do a pair of vanilla socks. So this is what this looks like, and I love the colors, and I love this little progress keeper that I got from homesteading in the city with Tammy. I ordered a project bag from her, and I don't know, here's the project bag. It's so cute, and I thought it was perfect for the theme of the socks. And then here's her label, and I don't know if she normally just throws in a progress keeper, but I thought it was really fun that it had a rose on it, and my business, White Rose Fiber Company, has a rose in it, so I thought that was cute. I don't know if she did that on purpose or not, but either way, I loved it. And let's see, do I have the tag in here? Nope, I don't have the tag in there. Oh well. Oh, you know what? It's in my craft room. But anyway, here is my progress on the second sock. Again, I just am loving it so much. I am almost finished. I'm hoping to finish these before March 1st so that I can cast on the February sock set in March and kind of do it a month at a time. Oh, and I also got this cute cake cozy with my project bag from Tammy, which I will link her shop in the show notes down below if you're interested in checking out her project bags. They have the little snaps. in the handle. The snaps are actually really funny. I kept snapping and unsnapping this project bag while I was on vacation, and my sister-in-law actually yelled at me, and she told me to stop cracking my knuckles because that's what she thought I was doing. But then I showed her the project bag and she said she was sorry, and that was funny. Moving into works in progress, I have been avoiding my salty air tea for a long time. I casted it on for our spring tea make along, which is taking place now and is running until March 31st. And if you want to find more information about that, make sure that you go to my website, which is whiterosefibercompany.com. I am co-hosting that make along with Kimber of Kimber's Cozy Creations, and we have something fun coming March 1st that I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything yet, so I'm not going to, but March 1st, keep your eyes peeled. Here is my fabric bucket bag thing that I'm using for it, and here is where I was the last time I showed it on the podcast, and I just started knitting on it last night. So this is all the progress that I've made since last night. So that's not true. I must have done a few rows after, but anyway, I am using this rubber ducky progress keeper from Hey Country Creations. I won a giveaway, and this is the progress keeper that I chose. And then I also have all of these colorful light bulb stitch markers breaking up the lace repeats throughout the pattern. And it's not that I'm not enjoying the pattern, I'm just in the lace part of the yoke, which is a little bit more complicated. It is less potato chip knitting where I can just do it with a movie or something in the background. I have to be a little bit more focused. So I've just been struggling to have the time to pull it out and the brain space to want to work on it. But I made myself pull it out last night, and I just sat there in like complete silence. And actually no, I think I had a podcast on in the background. It was an audio podcast, so there was like nothing to look at, nothing to pay attention to really. So that was really nice, and that was all of the progress that I got done in 1 hour. So I know that if I would just work on it, I would be making so much progress. But anyways, so that's that, and I wanted to talk for just a second about the make along. I wanted to let you guys know that I did update the rules, and works in progress are allowed. You don't have to finish your t-shirt to enter it into the giveaway. So again, just make sure to check out my website for the details at whiterosefibercompany.com. I had to get up to get this next project, so I wanted to show, I found the label for the sock yarn I was using. It's from Mandi's Makings, and the colorway is Fosco Coffee Bar, which is her first local coffee shop for the coffee shop sock club crew. I don't know. But yeah, so here's the label, found it, yay me. And then on to the next project, which is in one of my project bags, White Rose Fiber Company. This is a new cast on that I kind of regret taking on, not because I love it, or not because I don't love it, which I do. I am enjoying it, as many of you guys are going to be surprised once I show you what it is. But it also has a deadline. So yeah, I don't know if y'all remember my previous shawl adventure with the Shawlography by Stephen West. That thing took me like 2 years to knit. This is the Louisian shawl, and I have until March 10th to finish this. This is a sample knit for Dream in Color yarns. All of the yarns that I am using were sent to me by Dream in Color yarns. Here is the tag. It is on their Cosette base, which is DK weight, And the colorways are Sunflower. Let me see. Sunflower is the yellow. This gray is Tiny Blue. And this like dark gray is Prince William. So yeah, I am really enjoying that, but that has kind of become a stress knit because again, it is a very, I need to focus on this pattern, and we have been so busy and me being sick and just running around all the time. I just have not, I've been making myself work on it for at least like an hour a day. So it seems to be going well, and I am halfway through the charts, which is kind of concerning because it's still really small. I don't know, I'm not really a shawl knitter, so I don't know if it's supposed to be this small or not, but hopefully, hopefully it's gonna be okay, and hopefully I can get it finished in time. Moving into, this is my super smooth transition into acquisitions because, as I said before, this is a sample knit, and I am being compensated with yarn. And this is also on the Cosette base, and the colorway is Brilliant. So this is my payment for the sample knit, so I'm really excited about that, to add those to my stash. And then I have a couple of other acquisitions because it has been quite a while since I sat down to podcast. Actually, this isn't as bad as I thought. One of them came today, so. But while we were in Florida, I had a viewer message me and tell me that I needed to stop by this yarn store. Now I can't remember what it was called, which really stinks. But when we got there, I realized that it was where Ben and I went shopping on our honeymoon, so that was kind of cool. I picked up this Muse 2320 Fiber Company yarn, and the colorway, oh, it's called the Knit and Stitch. That's the name of the yarn store, Knit and Stitch Boutique. This is Florence and the Machine on their Mockingbird base. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and I love these colors. The lady who checked me out was really nice, and she asked me if I was a Florence and the Machine fan, and to be honest, I had never even heard of them. I just said I really liked the colors. So she probably thought I was crazy, but that's okay. Apparently I'm only gonna see them once every 6 years, so it's fine. But I also wanted to pick up this yarn, which is really pretty. It is called Bioluminescence, and this is in their 4-ply DK, which is called Pipit, I think is the name of the base. And I just thought this color was so pretty. It was a specialty dye. It is only available in that shop, and I just thought it was so pretty. And I guess there's like some bioluminescent kayaking that you can do. There's like bioluminescent water that you can kayak on at night, and it's supposed to be really cool. We didn't do that, but yeah, I thought that was really pretty yarn. And then this came today. This is the second installment of Mandi's Makings coffee, I'm gonna get this right, Coffee Shop Sock Crew Club. So if you have not gotten yours and you want it to be a surprise, look away. I'm going to show it. It is so pretty. I love it so much. The colorway is called Wandering Rose, and I love it. Okay, you can look back now. So yeah, I cannot wait to cast all of those yarns on into wonderful things, but right now I am just really trying to contain myself because I have so many works in progress. I'm looking at my whip basket right now that is overflowing, which is actually kind of frustrating because at the bottom of that basket is a blanket I'm supposed to be working on. But I can't get to it because there's... So moving into books, I thought I would talk about books, TV shows, and podcasts in kind of the same segment and see how that goes. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, So that's why I figured I would just kind of lump it in with books. But since the last time I talked to you guys, I have read Real Bad Things by Kelly Ford. I started that on January 31st and I finished it on February 9th. And then I read The Quarry Girls by Jess Lowry. I can't read my handwriting. By Jess Lowry. And I started that February 9th and I finished it February 14th. And I enjoyed both of them. Those were my vacation reads, so I read them on my Kindle. And I just feel like, for some reason I read a lot faster on my Kindle. I don't know why. I don't really like reading on my Kindle. So I only use it when we're traveling so that I read really fast. So it's just not practical to pack 3 books to keep myself entertained on flights and whatnot. So I just bring my Kindle. I had a couple of questions on my Instagram story when I shared what I was reading on the beach. I have the Kindle Paperwhite. I think that's all that it is. It's just Kindle Paperwhite. There's no like model number or anything. And I really like it. I had no problem reading it in the sun. There was no glare. It's supposed to be the closest to actual paper that they make. So again, I really enjoy it, but I don't use it that often. So hopefully that answers the questions that you guys had. I am currently reading a more informational book. I'm kind of thinking of it as like a textbook. It's called The Period Repair Manual by Laura Brydon. I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail on that, but so far it is very enlightening. I have taken so many notes and I have so many different like supplements I want to try, and just I'm super excited about all the information I'm getting from that book. And then when I finish that book, which hopefully I can finish by Friday because I'm borrowing it from a friend and they're coming over on Friday for a game night, so hopefully I can finish it and give it back to her by then. But if all goes well, I am planning on reading Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That is for my book club that is hosted by Three Tulips Yarn Company at my local bookshop, Warner Books. And yeah, let's see, today is the 21st. And book club is on the 28th. So I have 7 days to finish the book that I'm currently reading and read that whole book and be ready to discuss. So wish me luck on that. Yeah. I'm kind of nervous to read it actually because it's not really my genre, but I promised I would give it a try, so we'll see. I will let you guys know if I finished it or not and what I think of it next time. As far as TV shows go, like I said, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, but I did watch the newest season of You, part 1. I don't know how I feel about it. I think a lot of people feel the same way. I've seen a lot of spoilers, not really spoilers, but like conversations online about how they think that love is still alive and all that stuff, and unpopular opinion, I did not like Love. I was very happy that she was no longer in the show, so I will be very disappointed if they bring her back. But other than that, so like I said, I finished that, and then I have been watching The Last of Us and The Magicians, which I think The Last of Us like just came out or is currently running, I don't know. And then The Magicians is an older show, but I'm really enjoying both. My husband and I were actually playing The Last of Us video game a long time ago. Turns out my husband is not very good at shooting games, so we didn't play that one for very long. But it is kind of interesting to see how the show lines up with the video game. The show is based on the video game. I don't know if I said that already, but so it's interesting to see like how it lines up, and I have been enjoying that. I have also been asked what podcasts I watch over on YouTube, so I wanted to talk about those for a minute. My favorite podcast is Voolenvine, hosted by Kristen Lehrer. She is just wonderful. She used to make videos, produce videos professionally, so I think that explains a lot about her video quality and all of that, but she's also just a good personality to watch, and I feel like she is very similar to my personality, and she just has like the same taste in color that I do, and I really enjoy her podcast. I am actually a member of her YouTube channel. That's how much I love her. So yeah, and my next favorite is Plies Hellhounds, which is Gabby, and she is also just very much on a similar vibe with Kristen. I can't always watch her videos just like anytime because her dogs show up on her podcast from time to time, and Tilly does not like other dogs, especially ones that she can't like interact with. So whenever they make an appearance, she growls and sometimes she barks and is just a general nuisance. So I have to be careful when I decide to indulge in that podcast. But those are my two favorites. And then I also really enjoy the Crazy Sock Lady podcast hosted by Kay, and the Love and Stitches podcast hosted by Natalie. Moving into shop type updates, I just kind of wanted to announce that I will be discontinuing the newsletter. I am going to take down all the links on my website and just all of that. I just don't keep up with it, and it's honestly another platform that I just don't have time for. I don't have the energy for it, so I'm not gonna do it. And honestly, it didn't really promote like sales as much as I thought that it would, so I am just going to stop sending out newsletters. If you are interested in staying up to date with what's going on in the shop and seeing sneak peeks and things like that, make sure you follow me over at Knit Now Swatch Later. That is also the shop Instagram, where I will be posting shop updates, sneak previews, all that good stuff. So moving into some life chat, our trip to Florida went surprisingly well. Everyone got along, which was good, and it was just a nice time. The weather was nice. Ben and I got to have a day just to ourselves that we drove up to Orlando, and that was when we stopped at the Knit and Stitch Boutique, and then we went to the Titanic Museum, which was interesting but not as interactive as I was hoping it would be. That's the museum where they like give you a boarding pass for a real life passenger that was on the ship, and I thought that you kind of followed their story like throughout the museum, but that was not the case at all. You just walked through the museum. I mean, the artifacts were still cool and everything. I was just confused. And then at the very end, like one of the last displays, you could scan the QR code on your boarding pass and see if your person survived or didn't. And that was kind of cool, seeing kind of what happened to them. Ben and I both had survivors, so it was kind of neat to see, like, I don't remember whose his was. His was a rich guy in like first class, and I had a second class passenger who was on her way to get married, and she survived and she got married, and you know, all that was all happy and wonderful. It was very cool. And then we went to the Museum of Illusions, and that was way cooler. I did share a couple of photos in my Instagram stories just of our time there. I would definitely recommend, if you only have time for one, do the Museum of Illusions, because that one was way more fun in my opinion. We also have another trip scheduled for Florida. We are going to the Earth Day birthday concert in Orlando, which has a bunch of our favorite bands. Let's see, I'm gonna put the concert poster up here on the screen somewhere so you guys can see it. But some of the bands are Beartooth, Falling in Reverse, The Pretty Reckless, and we are really looking forward to that. We already have everything booked, and now we just have to wait. I think it's in April. I think it's April 22nd. And then we also have a Tim Hawkins concert that we are also super excited about, which is also in April. I think it is the weekend before that, which I didn't realize until just now. I think it's April 16th. So that's gonna be stressful. But yeah, so hopefully those are both great shows. We also really love Tim Hawkins. He is a comedian, and a lot of his comedy is through songs, so that'll be a super fun show. That one is in Ohio. It's like I think it's a 2.5 hour drive from us, something like that. So yeah, we are super excited about that. But I feel like I'm kind of just starting to ramble on a little bit here, so I am going to wrap things up. I will see you guys next time. So until then, happy knitting. Bye.